What is up, everybody? Welcome to Apocalypse Movies, and this is our third episode of what we're now calling the casting table, where we choose characters who are maybe coming to the big screen soon, and we speculate on who we want to be cast in those roles. We did 2 previous episodes of this, and we were calling it the Apocalypse Podcast, but we literally just came up with it. It is the casting table.
Now we gotta come with a logo and a thumbnail, man.
Exactly.
I'm excited.
Jake gets excited every time I create a new logo and thumbnail. Well, I am Jacob Bartley. I am joined by Jake Berlin, obviously. Keith Barnes is here, and Brian Avalosino. And today we're going to be talking about Norman Osborn, a.k.a. sometimes known as the Green Goblin, and
potentially the Benefactor.
Mm-hmm. We don't officially know if he's going to be in that.
It's heavily rumored. Heavily rumored.
But you can kind of bet on it that we'll see him at one point. So we're going to speculate, and we each have a few names that we chose who we want to be cast in this role. And we obviously have some backups in case some of those get chosen. And since Brian always gets robbed on this show, I'm going to start with Brian. Brian, what is your first choice for Norman Osborn?
Well, so we've heard of this rumor of the Benefactor. And obviously anyone that's seen Ant-Man and the Wasp knows that that's who, oh my god, what's his name?
It's Walter Goggins'
Walter Goggins'
character.
It was working for him.
People thought it was Justin Hammer for a while.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was Hammer, yeah. Which would have been a cool return.
Still could be, but no, they're casting a new person, right?
They're casting someone new for the Benefactor, yeah,
So
they said that.
not-
Well, which is the rumor. So.
Yeah.
Well, so I have, since day one, thought that Norman Osborn was going to take Avengers Tower. Like that. It's perfect. And then we've heard that David Morrissey is potentially who they're looking at. If you don't know that name, it's the governor from The Walking Dead, is who right now is the strongest rumored person. But I have some other choices. I whittled it down to 3. I've got 3.
So save the third one for honorable mention. We'll do the 2 around.
I don't know which one.
So you save your best one for last.
Okay.
That way we won't spend 2 hours talking about it because we could.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just choosing one right now.
I know. This is my backup. This is my backup.
Your backup.
So, okay. God. Okay. Hopefully one of you will have my other one.
I hope nobody takes mine. I have some good ones.
I got a good one.
But I'm gonna pull this one out of left field. I think that Jason Isaacs.
Oh, I like him a lot.
He was Lucius Malfoy from the Harry Potter franchise.
He's so menacing.
He is such a good bad guy that he would be awesome as
Tomb Raider, right? Isn't he Tomb
You know what? He would be.
So,
Wouldn't he?
Isn't he Tomb Raider's dad?
I think you're thinking of. Do you remember A Cure for Wellness?
Oh, he's in that.
When he was the bad guy
So
in that.
I watched the show, which I actually hated season 2, but he's in this show, The OA.
On Netflix, right?
I guess so too.
He is so good in it, though. He's so menacing in that, and he'd be perfect. For
So
Norman
he-
Osborn, but season 2 of that show sucked.
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah,
I'm the only guy that watches Star Trek Discovery, and he's in the first season. He is incredible.
You know,
he plays
like,
the captain of the Discovery.
He blows all my choices out of the water.
He
He's
is
the best choice.
he is incredible,
He's the best
and there's a
choice.
cool turn with his character at one point. It doesn't go bad or anything. It just has to do with like Star Trek stuff. And he has that menacing atmosphere around him in every role that he plays. Sometimes even when he plays the good guys, he just has this intensity to
You
him.
never ever feel like he could be the
And so, but it's definitely a great call. I
He
think,
just looks like a bad
yeah, he does,
guy.
and he looks like he can play like a Green Goblin type too. Like he has that
Exactly.
expression.
And
That's
I
such a
feel
great
like
choice.
he looks young enough to be a dad.
Oh yeah,
Even though he's almost 60 in real life.
Yeah.
He looks like
Really?
Well, it's like Tom
Yes.
Cruise.
Exactly.
He looks like 47 at the old
no, he's around like
That's crazy.
mid to late 60s
my
or late
goodness.
50s, and I could totally see him being a dad to Harry Osborn
56.
at 56.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he would be
It's a good choice.
solid choice.
Yeah, and he's not in a lot of blockbusters. He was in the Harry Potter stuff, obviously, but
Oh, never mind.
out of all the characters in those movies, that role wasn't super heavy.
No,
it was
but-
important, but
but
it
it was-
wasn't super heavy.
And it became a memorable.
Yeah,
person
exactly.
Too.
Yeah, totally.
I just think him and Michael Keaton, if they did like a Sinister Six, would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, all of them. Jake Gyllenhaal too with
Yeah.
with those two guys. You kidding me?
It would be.
That'd be
awesome.
bonkers.
Well,
So,
he's got a little superhero movie animated experience, but I mean, he voiced Ra's al Ghul in Batman Under the Red Hood, and he
God.
voiced Lex Luthor in Justice League Gods and Monsters.
He'd be such a good Ra's al Ghul.
He would be great.
He'd be such
Yeah.
a good Ra's al
That'd be
Ghul.
really cool.
so yeah, that honestly, any of my picks, I could be fine with being my number one,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna
yeah.
go with him as
It's a good choice. That's a good start.
as my backup.
That's a good start.
That's awesome. Well, let's keep the table going.
Sorry, really quick. He voiced the Grand Inquisitor in Rebels. Did y'all
Oh,
know
that's
that?
right. I did know
I
that.
didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
that.
I did know that. Yeah, yeah.
Never a good guy. All right, Jake, let's go to you, man. What's your first choice?
Yeah, I mean, this is
Or
a
your next
role.
choice.
This is one of those roles where there's a lot of good actors that can play him, and you can toss up any name. And I have two guys that I go back and forth all the time. But for my backup, and this is a backup role, I'm going Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston is.
That's a good choice.
He was obviously heavily rumored to be. They wanted him as Lex Luthor. Then they wanted him as Luthor's dad.
I never went on
He was in Godzilla. You know, he's done some movie roles that aren't like super memorable. He's obviously more memorable for Breaking
Zordon.
Bad. Yes, there you go. Yeah, more for a voice in that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Or floating head.
yeah, we're floating head. But yeah, he's done some comedies here. He's obviously more well known for Breaking Bad, but he's so just good at playing a bad guy. He's one of the most underrated actors because he does all these like smaller type of roles, and the one that always stands out to me, and it wasn't like a role like Norman Osborn, but it's the Trumbo film where he played Trumbo.
So good.
He was so
Nominated
good in
for
that
an Oscar
movie.
for that,
Yeah, and
yeah.
so I think he can bring a
That's a
different
great
level to the
choice.
MCU, and
Man, you guys are picking some good ones.
and he obviously is committed to doing multiple movies because he signed on for Power Rangers, right? He did Breaking Bad for so long. You know, he's done some stuff that he's interested in, you know, extending that lifespan through the franchise. And obviously, if Norman Osborn is going to be lengthy in the universe, why not get a guy like Bryan Cranston when you could possibly have someone like Jake Gyllenhaal playing off of him, or Michael Keaton, or Tom Holland's Spider-Man against him? Like, that'd be so cool to see. So, and he's just my backup. So I know he's the number one for a lot of people, but he's just my
Yeah,
backup.
there we go again. My number one being
Wow,
Brock.
you got to come with
You
like
said you
4
had three.
choices.
You
I
said
did
you
have
had three.
But as I was, since now we know what my number one was, as I was thinking this, you know who he would also be really, really good as? Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He would be really, because he's very good at playing that like
So
good
would Jason
character.
Isaacs, though.
Yeah, I know. But he,
You know what's funny? A lot of my choices
Could do
would
both.
Be, could be
Could do
I was
both.
just
about to say that.
Yeah. They're very similar in
Because
kind
one of mine, I
character.
think he'd be better as Doc Ock, but we're doing
yeah.
Norman Osborn right now.
Next week for Doc Ock.
Yeah.
All right, Keith, let's go to you, man.
Okay, well, yeah, I have 4 actually.
Nice.
Wow.
So,
Just pick the number 2, and then we'll talk about the honorable mentions later.
number 2. All right. See, my number 2 is kind of tough because my number 1's definite. I'll save him. But we just saw Toy Story. Tom Hanks. What do you think of Tom Hanks?
I thought about
You
him.
want Tom Hanks as
I
Norman Osborn?
thought about him.
Dude, he in a comic book
That would
movie?
be amazing.
Oh.
He
That would
hasn't
be
done it yet,
amazing.
and I mean, he may not be. Well, never mind.
But you can do a storyline where Norman
can play a
Osborn
bad
is in
guy so
action-wise.
good.
Maybe
Well,
he's
that's what I was gonna
the
say.
benefactor. He's supporting the bad guys.
that's the thing I was going to bring up is that I'm not 100% sure that they will go with Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin.
I don't think they will.
They could always go Hobgoblin.
Well,
Or-
I think they would do Harry.
or just let Harry
They
be.
do Harry because it's the Spider-Man Harry thing.
Right.
Like they can meet
So
later
you want
on,
a
like
younger
college
person
or
to-
whatever
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like the arch nemesis, obviously.
Because in the game, and you know, Brian and I, we both, I don't know how much you guys, but Norman Osborn's the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And if he plays a role like that,
Yep.
where, maybe not necessarily the mayor, but.
he's like a crime
whatever,
lord.
like
He hires everybody underneath him, basically.
Yeah.
Or like a kingpin.
So
Kingpin,
exactly,
yeah,
and he works
yeah,
his
yeah.
way into the politician circle. That kind of those upper levels of
He's like a kingpin that shows
Society.
his face and likes to be like.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he plays the two sides of the coin.
So
He's one
that's-
face in front of a lot
He's
of
a rich
others.
businessman.
Exactly.
you know?
Right.
Benefactor.
with a bit of with nefarious intentions.
That would be very
So,
cool to see.
yeah,
Tom Hanks in a
Hanks
comedy
in that role.
in a Spider-Man movie, and then ultimately going up against like the Avengers.
Because he's never done, like, I just watched Road to Perdition last week, and that's a role where he's not a villain, but he's not necessarily a great guy in it, and you can see he tapped into a level of darkness that we don't see Tom Hanks do. And I don't think he's done anything like that since.
He hasn't done a lot of dark roles like that. No.
So maybe Cloud Atlas, which was a weird movie, but no one
He
can
plays like a lot of,
But he plays a
lot of
yeah.
sunny guys. You know,
Right.
the sun shines on him.
yeah,
and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, so that's kind of I don't
That's
know
cool.
for sure if
That's a cool
it.
choice.
But
It's
yeah,
a very
I
cool
like that.
choice.
I like it. So
Alrighty, so my choice could be my number one, but it's it's back and forth. But I love this actor so much, and he needs to be on the forefront more often, and that is Mr. Jon Hamm. I freaking love this guy. Watch Baby Driver. He's so menacing in that. He's the right age. He can play Norman Osborn. I think he can play that businessman politician very, very well, while also playing the menacing thing. And I think he can do the action too.
Yes.
Maybe you
Oh,
don't want
100%.
Tom Hanks. Maybe
100%.
Tom Hanks is a little too old to do it, but I think Jon Hamm could definitely do the action. He was doing action stuff in Baby Driver.
Well, he's probably around the same age of Robert Downey Jr., I'd imagine.
So I was
And
thinking-
RDJ just got finished with all that action that he does, you know, and he could probably even do more.
Are they really going to be doing
RDJ 's
action?
barely
No, they're going to be on green screen.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Things like that, and
especially for that type of
he
role.
would be wearing the suit, and it would just be just like Robert Downey Jr. But man, I'm telling you, he's going to be cast in something like this, like something prominent in one. Like I think he would be a great Doc Ock as well.
He's been rumored for so many roles.
Yeah.
So many
And
roles over
I don't
the
know
years.
if he's offered these roles and he turns them down, or
I think his name just always
or if
pops up.
studios aren't looking at him.
Yeah.
Like for these type of roles. So
they definitely are.
Have you got-
He's only 48.
Have you guys ever seen
yeah, I was gonna say he's probably the same age as Jason Isaacs.
Have any of you seen Mad Men?
I watched the first couple.
I need
Oh.
to. See, that's the thing. I've only seen him in a few things.
He
It's a good, nefarious, behind the scenes.
Towards the end of the series, it turns into a very different type of character.
Mad Men is
and
on my list of
it's
things I need
similar.
to watch.
It's similar. Like he has this certain, intensity to him that is almost villainous in a way
Yeah.
in the show. And I can totally see that, seeing that Mad Men character transfer over to Norman Osborn. 100%.
I've been saying for years, this guy, man, he's so talented and
Yeah.
underrated.
He's been rumored for Batman for like 2 decades and like villains, and he was rumored for Two-Face at one point. And
He's like right on the cusp of being like, this guy's gonna be a superstar, and he
should
has the
already
talent
be.
to
He
be.
kind of
that.
is.
He
Not
is,
superstar, but he's.
but he picks
big
his
name.
role because he was in Bad Times at the El Royale last year.
He
and was
deserves
great
like
in it.
everyone to know his
Yes,
name.
100%.
Casual
I agree.
moviegoers and everything too. So
Yeah.
I think he would be a great. And he, you want Norman Osborn to at least be around for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You know?
Yeah,
So
long
he
time.
he can play him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, my number one was Bryan Cranston. So now Isaacs is going to jump up to number one, and we're going to promote my third. The only problem with this one is, well, you really think that I'm going to hit yours?
Maybe.
I thought Jon Hamm might have been yours.
The only problem with this one
I hope he's sneaking through.
is he was just a comic book villain. So I don't think it's long enough to be away.
Villain.
Mark Strong.
Oh yeah.
I think
He's too bald.
Norman,
I'm just joking.
Norman Osborn barely
No,
has-
that's all right.
Yeah.
Look, we just had. Well, okay. Killmonger. He went.
Oh,
from
Michael B. Jordan.
went
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Fantastic Four to
that.
Marvel,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I
he
mean,
can do it. It's fine.
So the only thing is, one, he didn't die in Shazam, so he's still around.
Yeah, he's the
so
bad
he's,
guy.
Oh, yeah.
So he's
Okay,
going to
that's
be.
What's funny is I was thinking of Green Lantern. I wasn't even thinking of Shazam. I wasn't
He's
even
always
thinking of
my
Shazam.
God.
He's always a villain.
Oh, listen, because we just talked about last week. We talked about Sherlock Holmes. He's the villain in that. And he's
I will
great.
take-
That's
So,
right.
Yeah,
I forgot about
And-
that.
yeah, that's a good call.
What's the Matthew Vaughn film?
Kingsman.
The early on one
Oh.
that he did. The fantasy one. You know,
Stardust.
Yeah, he's the villain in Stardust.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's such a good bad guy.
Stardust
He's
is
such
awesome.
a good bad guy.
See, he's been so many comic. I will take him as Sinestro over anything ever. He was the best in Green Lantern. You know, remember that? Oh my God, he was so good.
barely.
That is the only good thing that came out of that movie was he was would have been awesome. But I think he would be. He's so good as a bad guy.
Yeah, but he obviously likes playing the bad guy because he keeps taking the roles.
Yeah.
So
but-
it shouldn't be. It's the problem with him being in the Shazam world is how
Yeah.
long Marvel
He's
wants
also
Norman
good as a
Osborn.
good guy.
Yeah.
in Kingsman.
Yeah, he's so good in Kingsman.
yeah.
And they shouldn't have never killed him.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
I think it's a thing they would work with them. I mean, James Gunn's doing.
Yeah.
Marvel.
And Jason
work
Momoa
together.
just said,
Momoa,
"Oh, I'd
Mike-
play Wolverine if
Right.
I see like
Right. So they,
But
He'd be a badass Wolverine."
I just think he's very good at like being the background kind of guy, but still having his like evil hands on like every single thing that's going on.
Yeah.
And just like I could just see Mark Strong interacting with Tom Holland and being like, Peter, how's it going? Like that, like kind of how Michael Keaton was in the car ride, how he was just like
That
like-
car ride was awesome.
Yeah,
Car
like
ride was
that.
awesome.
But yeah,
I love Mark Strong's voice too. His
Yeah,
voice
exactly.
when he's a bad guy is just so menacing.
Yeah. So, Bryan Cranston was my number one. Just
I'm
because
so happy my guy snuck through. I'm so happy.
Let's
my
go
guy
to
snuck
Keaton.
through.
I'm just kidding.
I was hoping so. 'Cause I get a feeling you might actually have.
all right,
Really?
Jake.
I'm worried you might have.
Really?
got,
Yeah.
Jake?
So my guy, we've talked about him a number of times throughout the years on our shows in multiple facets, and he is probably the most underrated actor of the past like 20 years. He got a lot of bad rap as a younger guy, and he's kind of grown a little bit over the past decade or so. And that is Colin Farrell.
I knew
That is
I
Colin
knew you
Farrell.
were gonna go for
It's
that.
even
one.
better than mine.
Really? Yeah.
it
So
might be.
I think Colin Farrell is the most underrated male actor on this planet. He does not get enough credit for the work he does.
Completely agree with you.
The one I loved him in the True Detective season 2, even though the season was terrible. I liked him as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts. I thought it should have been him the entire time,
Yes.
and not Johnny Depp.
So good in
But the one role that always stands out to me is Saving Mr. Banks. That movie
need
where
to see that.
where
Yeah,
he
me
played
too.
opposite Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I think he may have got nominated for supporting actor role that year. I'm not 100% sure, but I
love
think
him as
that
Bullseye in Daredevil.
He was
well, and
really good at it.
he
I
got,
know
and
he
so I think
was.
that he's the type of guy that would sign on for multiple movies. I think that he could play the role, not only like have that villain mentality, but he can also have a lot of fun with it.
Good call.
Because he seems like he's growing as an actor, and we've seen him in a bunch of different things. But I would love to see him opposite Tom Holland, or maybe as a Green Goblin, or benefacting these villains and going up against the Avengers.
Him
and
and Gyllenhaal on screen together.
yeah, like
It's so good.
it's.
Wow.
I would.
That's great.
If I could pick anybody in the MCU right now to be cast, it would definitely be Colin Farrell.
anything,
yeah, in anything. But I think him as Norman Osborn would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Because he could do everything. He could do the stunts if they wanted him to do stunts. He could be that businessman if they wanted him to be a businessman. He's kind of like that Jon Hamm type where he can do it all. I think he would be a perfect choice.
He's great. He's like one of my favorite actors right now.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I've always loved him. That's a really good call. I think that's actually better than mine. And I was worried you might have mine, but that might be better. But this guy, his name's been kicked around for coming to the MCU since he ended his last thing. I don't know. I'm worried that he's a great actor, and I'm worried that when we look at him, we'll think of his other role, which is iconic, and we know who that is. Hugh Jackman.
Oh,
Hugh Jackman.
I knew that's what you were
Ooh,
gonna say.
that'd be cool.
Because as soon as Logan came out and people were like, "What's his next thing?" and I think he may have mentioned he would be interested in joining the MCU in another role.
There's
I thought
nothing
I
that
heard
says
him-
he can't.
I thought I heard
to
him
be
say that
honest.
once.
We would all just see Wolverine on screen, but
That's what
it might
He's
take
such
a
good
while.
actor,
Yes,
though, that
yes.
he wouldn't.
He's
miss
also
that.
very underrated.
So he would have to not be as buff, and he's not gonna be. He
No.
said the reason why he stopped being Wolverine because he was tired of working
I
out
was
so
gonna do
much.
that crazy workout.
Yeah.
And they'd have to I think they maybe try to age him up a little bit. To
Exactly.
Give him some like gray streaks or something like that.
Yeah, which he can do.
Exactly.
The way he looked kind of in Logan.
They aged him up a little bit in Logan.
Yeah. So if he looked like that, I'm not as tired and weathered, but as that businessman type.
I would
of,
love that because
I think it'd be cool.
Could you imagine just eventually seeing Hugh Jackman go up against the new Wolverine?
I know.
exactly.
That'd be wild. That'd be
sure.
wild.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that choice.
Yeah.
That's I never would have crossed my mind. It's interesting.
Yeah, man.
It'd be really good. And we know that he's a great actor.
Right.
He's really good. So that'd be really cool to see.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Okay. He definitely is.
Wasn't sure.
We know it, Brian. Well, my last choice, this guy would be great, and it's all depending on him if he would do it. But I think Mr. Brad Pitt would be a great
Good. I was
Norman
waiting for someone to
Osborn.
say his name.
He's been rumored for stuff. He was rumored for Cable.
Hey, he was in Deadpool
Oh, he
2.
was, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was in Deadpool
Technically
2.
Was in Deadpool 2.
He was in Deadpool 2.
I'm telling you, he
Wait,
had
that
the-
means he's already in the MCU though.
No, he had the
He
best
died quickly.
skydive
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yes.
I would say. When they cut to him when he's floating down, he just looks so awesome. But I think Brad Pitt would kill it, and he's often always playing a good guy. I would love to see him play.
He does play some really good bad guys, but he does play the good guy a lot.
I think he could turn on that menacing feel very quickly, and he's such a great actor, and
He's one of the best of our time.
He would bring some more attention to the character, and just people would, there's no longer the box office star anymore, but I think putting Brad Pitt in that role, a lot of people who wouldn't go watch a Spider-Man movie would, because he's in the role.
Yeah.
And it would just bring so much class and prestige to the role if he was doing it. So I would love Brad Pitt as Norman Osborn.
I would argue
he could do the action too.
Yeah, he could, and I would argue he's probably about as underrated as Colin Farrell. I've always felt that way about Brad Pitt, is because he's such a
superstar,
he's such
but
a leading man.
People don't talk about his acting.
He was
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've always heard the best description of him I've heard is that he's a character actor in a leading man's body.
He was like in the spot like in the 2000s, like the mid, like when Ocean's 11 and stuff were coming out. Like he was always in stuff.
Yeah.
Over the past 10 years, he's slowed down.
No, even in the 90s,
an Oscar before. I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was nominated for Benjamin Button, I think,
Oh, was he?
He was great in Benjamin
and
Button.
maybe killing himself.
No, I don't think so.
thought I
I don't
heard
think
that.
so.
Okay,
not
maybe
that
not.
one.
But I think
I did
definitely
not like that
Benjamin
movie whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So I think
That's a
he
cool
would be
choice.
great.
That's a really cool. I like that. Anybody have any honorable mentions? 'Cause I got two off the top of my head.
I have a wild one.
All right, which wild card?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that's good.
And that's a role that
He
he.
would be great, but
Boy,
I
the
like
thing is,
that.
I don't even choose him for these because he's not gonna do
Exactly. That's why it was
Unless Tarantino
But
directs
it.
it.
Him and
I would have thought that about
Tarantino
Gyllenhaal.
directed it.
Because
but not as
not
much. Not as much.
Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. That's nuts.
Yeah, it
I would
is.
have never thought he would.
But the
That's
thing
out of
is-
left field.
But Gyllenhaal's a die-hard Spider-Man fan. He's a die-hard
Yeah, he is.
comic book Spider-Man fan, so I don't doubt it. But
Yeah.
actually, DiCaprio
DiCaprio's
almost played Spider-Man.
I was gonna say,
he actually is a Spider-Man fan too. But
yeah.
um,
In this
Anakin
stage of his
Skywalker.
career, it's
he's
different.
so like
Yeah.
picky, choosy. Like
Well, when was the last movie that we saw him in outside of Once Upon a Time?
the Rev.
Revenant was like
Revenant?
3 years
yeah,
ago.
exactly. So he's the new Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah,
in a
he
way.
shows up like every 2 years, like a Tarantino.
And that's the thing. Like he would be my first choice as Doctor Doom, but he would never
Oh
do
my
it.
god, that would be
And
insane.
there's rumors that they're working on a Doctor Doom script. Well, they
have
someone
one from
is.
Noah Hawley that was with Fox.
Someone is, but if you put him in a role, like starring role as Doom, you can do a solo film with him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I would love Norman Osborn would be great too.
He would be crazy.
That'd be so cool.
Just freaking like Spider-Man going up against Leonardo DiCaprio. That'd be insane.
Supporting actor
Yeah.
nomination.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Spider-Man 3.
I got two that were very interesting to me. The Revenant was his last movie, by the way. That was 2015. That was 4 years ago. We haven't seen the movie in 4 years.
He won his Oscar.
He did win his Oscar. I have two interesting names. One of them is Oscar Isaac.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I was thinking about him too.
Oscar Isaac, I think, would be really cool, and he's finishing up Star Wars, obviously, so he needs something else to do. The second one is a name that I've wanted in the MCU for a very long time. Is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh my God,
He has
cool.
he has played that type of role before, like the bad guy with, and he has that intensity. We've seen it. We saw it in Interstellar. We've seen it in other films where he kind of has that ability to really lose himself in a character.
He was almost going to be Ego, didn't he?
He was almost going to be Ego,
Yeah,
and I would love to see
God
him
he
as.
wasn't.
I would love to see him as Adam Warlock if they go with an older
You've been
Adam
saying
Warlock.
that one for a while. He's
but,
been saying this one's been saying McConaughey for Warlock.
I think
years.
him as Norman Osborn would give him a chance to kind of not do as many stunts as he probably does in the past, and kind of really just act opposite other people. And like a Brad Pitt, it would bring notice to the role because Matthew McConaughey is a huge name in Hollywood. So
I have George Clooney too.
Ooh,
That wouldn't be
I like that.
Like
He'd
an
be
older,
great.
An older.
So
dad.
do we think
Yeah.
that Norman Osborn is going to be a little bit on the aged up side?
Yeah,
Well,
I think so.
I think he's gonna be
Because
an older dad.
Because Peter Parker right now is what? He's 16, right? 17.
how old is he now?
Weren't they sophomores?
Because they were sophomores at that time.
Yeah.
But he's still that
But
age.
when
Remember-
Infinity War came out, it was like it was a year or a year and a half later.
So he's about 17,
So he's
16,
probably-
17. He might have been
assuming
15 as a sophomore and
Yeah.
then 16,
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
Because who's to say Norman Osborn couldn't be like a late 30s, early 40s?
Yeah, it could be.
And we don't even know if they're going to bring Harry Osborn in
Exactly.
into this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
He
Well,
obviously doesn't know him.
I
Unless they were like
exactly.
childhood
They
friends
may
or
meet
something.
later on. But
Or unless they
that,
do-
that would be similar to the Amazing Spider-Man where they were childhood friends and they came
That's
back.
true.
And I don't think they would go
They
that
can meet in
route.
college.
I think
Yeah.
They did a similar thing in
exactly.
the game where
Cool.
he lives in Europe or something.
that's
Yeah.
what I think is gonna happen. Is I think he's gonna come from Europe.
Yeah.
And Harry's gonna be the new student.
Right.
And then they're gonna become friends
Yeah.
and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So
Hey Peter, come to
Who's going to
Adventures.
play Harry
I've got a
We'll have to do another video for that one.
I got a crazy
Ansel
one.
Elgort.
I got a crazy one that's not gonna happen.
Whoa,
I got I like that.
that's not bad actually.
That's good. He's really tall too. I don't know if he's way taller than
Holland,
yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, Mark Hamill. What do you think about Mark Hamill as Norman Osborn?
He's rumored for a role in Guardians 3, though.
Yeah,
I heard that.
He's rumored
Because they're like neighbors or something, right? He lives
he's
down the
rumored to
street
be
from
the
Jamestown.
creator of Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I forget the name of the
What?
guy,
He's
but it's
like
some
a-
specific
Wow.
name.
Okay.
He's like a mad scientist.
I'm
Essentially.
going to look it up real quick.
Oh no, I want him to do that. Never mind.
Yeah. So he's basically
No, I like that.
yeah. From what they've said, he's gonna be like the mad scientist
Oh, boy.
that created Rocket Raccoon.
That's great. Oh.
And
Playing the High Evolutionary. It's called the High
Really? I know
Evolutionary.
that
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Okay.
That's the rumor. So,
So
which would be
when
kind
I
of
was
cool.
thinking of character or actors for Norman Osborn, the first person who came to my mind was this guy, and there's a reason why he might not be able to do it, and it's because his name's Bradley Cooper. And I always wondered, could Bradley Cooper play a human character
Yeah.
in MCU?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he's voicing
Well,
Rocket.
if you remember
he
Vin
doesn't
Diesel.
sound like Bradley.
You gotta
Cooper.
Well,
listen
if
to
you
him.
know he's playing him, you know. But
Yeah.
Vin Diesel was going to lead the
Yeah.
Inhumans
It's
movies.
gonna be.
So
That was in part of the deal.
exactly.
Which
So
rumored
if
to be
he can, I
rebooted.
think he would be great as Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
And same thing, like he would just
Him,
bring such a-
Gyllenhaal,
Yeah.
Keaton against Holland. Oh my God.
Those three alone.
Spider-Man's gonna need some help in that fight.
Spider Gwen's coming.
He's gonna need some damn help.
Spider Gwen's coming.
I don't think. No, I don't think they touched.
Spider Gwen's coming.
She's from another dimension,
She's
the multiverse.
coming.
So I don't think Sony is gonna let them get that close to.
Yeah, they are.
They put the uncle in
yeah,
there.
they are. It's happening.
The uncle's in there.
It's happening.
Donald Glover is the uncle.
They literally mentioned the multiverse. Like,
It's happening.
Right.
It's happening.
And screw it, get Haley Steinfeld to do that too. To
Tom
play the
Holland
live
just-
action.
No, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Spider-Gwen.
it's gonna be Kiernan Shipka
Yeah,
from
that's what I've heard too.
Sabrina, the girl that plays Sabrina,
She would be
Really?
who plays Jon Hamm's daughter in Mad Men.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yep.
But the Netflix show.
The Netflix one,
Yeah.
The Chilling
Yeah.
Adventures of
Her name's
Sabrina.
Kiernan Shipka, and her name is in heavily rumored to be Spider Gwen.
And she-
Interesting.
Perfect.
Yeah,
for it.
because she's aged similar to Holland. I think Haley Steinfeld probably out ages him a little bit.
yeah.
And I think she's even taller than Holland, which may not be I think they want to
She's
do.
too busy creating Transformers.
Like 22 and
It's 23, I think. Yeah.
Steinfeld's like 22.
She's probably the same age. Yeah, she's
25,
probably the same age. You're probably right. Yeah.
But still, yeah, I
similar,
know
similar
what
in
you mean,
age. Yeah. It'd be interesting. So, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It just has to be someone like with a good presence, like
Yeah.
someone that you could just see like being better than everyone a little bit.
I don't care so much about the presence. I care more about the relationship between her and Peter. That's what
I'm
I
not talking
want.
about. I'm talking about Norman Osborn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone that you know, like
Well,
a
that's-
kingpin.
I think that's why they would go for a big name.
Yeah.
Someone who brings like gravitas to the role that we've seen multiple times
Well,
before.
intimidating.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that
he's
would
a
be as intimidating as
huge
Yeah.
comic book character for people.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big. I mean, he was like arguably one of the first big bad guy comic book villains because of the original Spider-Mans. So like,
He's so, yeah, I mean, he's the Spider-Man's Joker.
Could we see
Oh,
William Dafoe?
that would be so cool.
I mean, he's forever the best Green Goblin. I'm just going to say that.
He was
Real quick before we get out of here, and Jacob signs us off. Do we think a live-action Spider-Verse is happening?
No.
So Tom Holland, just you see his
He
comments.
wants to do it.
He said
Yeah.
he'd love to get all those Tobey Maguire and
One, do you think it'll happen? Two, would you like to see it happen?
yes,
No,
because
no,
I
no.
heard that they were trying to do that in Into Spider-Verse. They couldn't get Tobey Maguire. He had something else. They were trying to get him in it.
They wanted to, like,
They
him
wanted him to voice
it,
the
like,
the
oh,
The
like,
one that died, right?
no
The real one.
yeah
Oh,
the,
okay.
Ben or
The one that
whatever,
Jake Johnson did, yeah.
They wanted him. They wanted that to be Tobey Maguire.
Peter, is it Peter B. Parker? Is
Yeah.
that what it is? Peter
Yeah.
B. Parker, right?
I'd rather him be Uncle Ben.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a good callback.
It would be so.
And he's young enough with Marissa Tomei, 'cause she's pretty
But-
young.
But it's
Ben's
5 years
dead,
later though.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you gotta
that's
make him
fine.
even older.
Maybe he's alive in different multiverse.
No, I don't think we'll go that far in live action, to
Neither
be
do I.
honest.
Yeah.
I
It'd be cool, but
I don't know. It's,
Just a slight like glimpse, maybe one day.
No.
Maybe.
I don't know.
only if, like, somehow he goes into their world really quick and he meets them, and then he comes back to the real world, but they're not going to come into the MCU timeline.
Can you imagine
or
seeing that
universe.
original Spider-Man suit one more time though?
That'd be pretty cool.
You know what's funny is I like the Andrew Garfield suit better
So do I.
than Tobey Maguire's.
much
No, Amazing Spider-Man 2, not the first one. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit better than Tobey Maguire's suit. But that's a conversation for another day.
They have so many villains that they can
Yeah.
bring into Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
so many
real
good
quick, did you
villains.
guys see the news that JJ's writing a Spider-Man comic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he's
no.
creating a villain.
Yeah.
He's writing with his son, and they're creating a brand new villain. So
That's cool.
that'd be kind of cool to see maybe one day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that's going to do it for the casting table this time around. We just talked about Norman Osborn. Who would you guys like to see as Norman Osborn? Let us know in the comment section. Thank you for Brian, Keith, Jake.
You're very welcome.
He was pointing at other people
I
just
was
for your-
pointing at Keith when I said Brian. I am Jacob. This is Apocalypse Movies. We will see you guys next time. Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocalypse Movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocalypse Movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.